city, and what is the scenario of water conservation in the city, and what is the scenario of groundwater management in the city. Uh, if I talk about Bilaspur city, it's a area. It has a total area of 130 kilometers square. We have a population of nearly 7.5 lakh. So we are not a million plus city. We fall in the Mahua category of 3 to 10 lakh population city. Now, if I calculate based on population, the total demand of water supply, taking an average of 200 liter per person of a daily water usage, I have a total demand of 150 mld million liter per day for the city. Out of 150 mld, if I have to do the breakup from where this water is coming, from where the citizens are getting this water, now 72 mld is being supplied by the Bilaspur Municipal Corporation, and 78 mld people are drawing from the individual tube wells and the borewells that they have dug, and they are using the pumps to operate from that. If I go by that parameter, then nearly 54% of the water which is being used in the city is from private borewells. 20% of the water being used is from direct borewells, government borewells, and then 30% of the water being used is from the surface supply, which is from a nearby dam. This is the breakup. So if I still say that 72% of the city's supply is being met from the underground water, and only nearly 28 to 30% of the supply of the city is being done via the surface measures. Uh, this is the scenario of not only Bilaspur city, but of the most other cities in Chhattisgarh and even across the country. In 2015, government came up with an Amrut scheme, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, where the focus was for all the cities from shifting from this underground borewell recharge system of supplying of water to a surface supply of water, where across the country 500 cities were chosen in 2015, where Amrut scheme was implemented, and in this scheme the city supply of water was to be done via the surface supply of the water. So before 2015, 100% of the supply of water in the urban cities, especially if I especially comment about Bilaspur, was with respect to groundwater supply only. Post 2015, the implementation of this Amrut scheme started in 2023. 30% of the supply has been shifted to the surface water, but still the 30%, still the major 70% chunk is still lies with that of the underground water. What else government has done to promote this surface supply, surface usage? The major fund which central government has for the cities is the 15th finance fund. 15th finance, there is a devolution of fund from the center to the states and to the urban bodies and to the rural bodies, depending on the population, and there are different criteria based on that. In 15th finance disbursement of the fund, a special category has been implemented, which is the 15th finance fund can only be utilized for the surface water supplies only. So government is trying to promote surface uses of water for a drinking and other supplies, and is trying to demote the uses of the underground water. Similarly, under Jal Sanchay mission also, we are working on more and more water conservation structures. In rural areas, it is easier to recharge water because the surface area is much larger. In urban areas, the major issue is more and more concretization. We have lesser surface area for the recharge of the water. So major focus lies with that of the recharge of the major water body. If I look into my city, Bilaspur, the major water body is a river Arpa which flows in between the city. So the major focus for us is recharge of this river. For this, we implemented various schemes, like we made two barrages. Both those barrages hold the water. They have the capacity to hold the water across the year, and then we will use this surface of the river for recharge of the water. But the major challenge which lies with both these things is that the nearby areas there has been a massive industrialization. And because of that massive industrialization, especially those industrial areas that we have in the city, the water level has declined to such a level that most of the borewells in a few wards are going dry even by February each and every year. So the urban challenge with respect to this water management lies in these three special perspectives. First, The overuses of underground water of the borewell. Even after implementation of our surface water scheme, 70% of our water supply is dependent still on the borewell supply. Number two, on the massive industrialization and the uncontrolled uses of the borewells in the industrial areas specifically, because in other parts of cities we have been able to control the borewells, but in industrial areas we have not been able to. So that industrial uses of water is a major challenge with respect to this. And third is the major river that flows and the pollution in the river and the recharge of the water through the river. These are the major three challenges with respect to if I groundwater management in city perspective. Uh, then if I talk about the rural areas, I will request Nitish sir to kindly play the presentation.
Yes, sir. I'm sharing the screen. Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible. This was a GIS-based planning and groundwater recharge management that we did in Rajasthan district a year back. And just will briefly go through the slides so that the different steps that we took with respect to the water management in the rural areas and the different steps that we have taken, I will be able to better explain. So next slide. Next, across the year, where the maximum rainfall used to happen between the April, May, this water recharge, and this is the temperature and the precipitation. The maximum the recharge used to happen across the July, August, September seasons. Next, 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 next. So this is the approach that we took about the water conservation. First, we mapped the entire district. The mapping was of different times. We superimposed the different maps. First, we did the geological analysis, then the soil type analysis, then the contouring and the dam analysis of the entire areas. Then the stormwater drainage was identified in each and every areas. And most importantly, after combining all these maps, the most important part for creating any recharge structure is the availability of the land. We are able to identify that this will be the best place of recharge, but that land may be a private land where the landowner will not allow us to make any recharge structure. We overlap that with the Bhuya. Bhuya is a software, government software, where we have the government lands have been identified. We overlap all our analysis with the government map, and then we identify those government lands where, based on all our criteria of geology, soil type, and contour analysis, which is the best area for the recharge structure to be made for the groundwater rejuvenation. Then, uh, after analyzing that, we sanctioned various recharge structures. What was the kind of the recharge structure? Was we did different recharge wells. Recharge wells is a kind of pond uh, which has a very specific location, and in center of that recharge structure, we dig a borewell which was 10 to 15 feet so that it can touch the aquifer level. Even if not aquifer level, then if at the centrifuge level it can touch, so that the water recharge will happen. Next. These are the kind of structures that we made. This is the contour bunding across the land, and after contour bunding through a series of mini percolation tanks, which we call the MPTs, we are combining those points, and these are the places which have the maximum recharge potential as per our analysis. Next. Then, apart from this, there are various other means that we did: river bank plantation, check dam, bank protection. Here we have classified the numbers that we have made. That 11,262 different structures we have made. Total catchment area that it covered, and total sanctioned amount. For example, these amount of works we did with 16.52 crores. Next. These were the different artificial recharge structures that we built: mini percolation tank, staggered trenches, continuous contour trench, boulder check dams, dug wells, underground dikes, gabions, LBCDs, and gully plugs. Different areas and different structures. We identified which areas are suited for which structures, and based on that, we made these structures for recharge. Next. same the various water body mapping, which was the initial phase of the plan. It was done in each and every block of, there were total 9 blocks in the district, and all the blocks we identified all the major water bodies in each district. Next. 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 Apart from this, the other important measure is the micro irrigation. Thus, if we go by the conventional system of irrigation, in conventional system of irrigation, the more and more water is used. So the major thing is changing the cropping pattern as well as the irrigation system. So we tried to promote the micro irrigation system in our district, where the different sprinkler system, drip irrigation, and micro irrigation system. We got a very good progress with, but we could not get a very important impact with respect to the micro irrigation system. Next. Next. Next slide, please. These were the different structures which were sanctioned under the Swachh Bharat mission, where in each and every village, the grey water management system was implemented, where drains were created, and those drains were connected to leach pits and soak pits, and in smaller groups, kitchen gardens in each and every schools were sanctioned, so that the local water users can be used in kitchen garden itself. So a total amount of 497 crore was invested for this in the district. Next. Next. This is the plantation drive that we carried out. We planted 2,84,000 trees in that year, amounting to 16.85 crores. Next. 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 We also did an MOU with UNICEF and Aquadam, and the major industrial group in the district, which was the ABIS group, so that the entire project can be executed. And we also took support from UNICEF in the planning and execution of the project. Next. Next. The final impact that we saw was a major rise in the level of water level after 2 years in these districts, in these blocks. If we compare, there was a, even at some places there were a rise of 2 meter of water level. If we go from August to August or September to September. This year is the third year, and after this monsoon season, we will be able to see what has been the recharge of this year. Maybe some variation may be there because of the amount of the rain that happened in that time or that area, but overall the result was very positive, given the amount of interventions that was done in the district. Next. This was the planning and different maps that we utilized for making this plan. And these were the different structures that were created, the different mini percolation tanks, and this is, you can see the labels that, through MG Narega, which are being utilized for creating these structures. Next. This was the various media coverage that happened, and it was very well portrayed in the media also. Next. And we also, in agriculture and water resources, being an aspirational district, we were ranked third in conservation of water resources and improving the agriculture, water usage in agriculture by the Niti Aayog also. Next. Thank you so much.